Here we go. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming into Agent Tactics Weekly Mastermind every week at 10 a.m. The replays are played on YouTube right after. We should have this to you in your email tomorrow with some other stuff. In the emails that we send out, you actually get quite a few things. You get all the upcoming events, the past events, and the playbooks. If you haven't seen the playbooks, I think this is one of the coolest things that I have. And it wasn't even my idea. It was my coach Christie's idea. So let me see if I can find it. This is Google one, I think. No, can't even find it. I'll pull it up in a second here when we introduce Preston. But the playbooks, if you just shoot me the on like Instagram or on Facebook, just DM me the word flow. I'll send you the book on there. It's got like what we do is what we'll take from here. We'll break down all the key steps that Preston talks about as far as growing a neighborhood search on YouTube. We'll go through and make a playbook. And so they're free. You just click on the playbook, download it, and it has all the information that you would have needed to know in order to grow a YouTube channel around that. So my guest today, Preston Gale, is in the North Dallas area, North Dallas area. He created a YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and we'll go into that. But he's getting a ton of business off of doing more neighborhood style business or YouTube videos. Preston, welcome, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hopefully, I'm on the tail end of this whole thing, so should be good to go. But I appreciate, glad to be here.
Yeah, man, and thanks for coming in and being sick. Why don't you break us down a little bit about number one, how you created the channel and this and the style, and then what your actual style is?
Yeah, so I mean, you want me to go off on what I started out as, or
Yeah,
transition? Okay,
yeah.
so I started out back in a few years ago, I guess almost 3 years ago, and kind of did the cell phone vlog tours, kind of what people were doing to bring in business. It was something different than what everybody else was doing. I wasn't into paying for leads and all that stuff. I wanted to create my own lead generation source. So I started using a cell phone and kind of felt like I was going nowhere for a long time. It just kept turning out videos, 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, and just kept learning. And what I noticed is the longer that I continually stay consistent in doing that, I continually got better. I used to be that guy that would, have the selfie stick in my hand and it would shake so bad that I'd have to do a retake because I was just so nervous being in front of the camera. So, and then I kind of slowly gravitated towards these neighborhood vlogs. One reason being is I'm not a super analytical person. I don't like to read off scripts. So there's so many ways for YouTube and other social media platforms to work. You just have to figure out what you can do consistently and be good at over time. So like I couldn't see myself trying to put scripts together and do talking head videos. That's just not me. Whereas some people may be really good at that. And so yeah, I started gravitating towards the neighborhood vlogs. After selling some homes, I had some pretty big commissions after my first year or so. I only sold like I think 4 or 5 homes through the channel, which wasn't a whole lot, but I used that money to hire a videographer and invest in the business. And he was a little rough at first. He was a good videographer, but hadn't never done real estate videography. So it was just brand new for both of us. Um, and over time, we just slowly got better and leads continued to pick up. And yeah, it just slowly progressed. And for me, this being in the Dallas area, I know it's different for everybody, but there's so much new construction here that I could never run out of content. I know that's not the case for everybody, but for me personally, that's why it was such a good fit because I will never, there's a new neighborhood coming up almost every day. And time wise, it's super, they say YouTube gives you your time back because it prospects for you 24/7, which is awesome. And then, people are saying that, oh, it takes so much time for you to, figure out and do and edit. Well, I outsource everything. Um, and basically it takes me a couple hours a week minus drive time to run this channel. So I basically text my videographer a neighborhood, usually Sunday, Monday night, and we meet out there. I Google it, look up basic information on the neighborhood, and get a price sheet, and just very broad because it's evergreen content and those prices change, and just give as much value as possible. I do a walk and talk through the homes, and
Here,
try to
I'll push play on your video so people can kind of see a little bit about what
yeah.
it looks like.
We've got 3 to 4 car garages on top.
That, by the way,
So you're looking to make a move.
this my mic went out on this, so you might want to use another one.
Move to one of North Dallas's top suburbs, and you want lots of space, not only in the house, but outside the house on the yard. And you don't want to have to take care of an acre lot. Well, that's what we're going to show you here today. We've got.
I like at the very beginning of this, you basically said who this is for, right? Like who's the ideal buyer for this by saying you don't want to take care, you want a big lot, but you're not an acre lot. You want a 4-car garage.
Really nice oversized homes on oversized lots, 85 feet to be exact, much larger than what you're going to see in your traditional neighborhood, and some of the most incredible pricing that you have ever seen. And we've got 3 to 4 car garages on top of that. So an incredible value, an incredible location. And this is the first house we're going to be showing you right here. It is 3,700 square feet, 5-bed. It can be a 6-bedroom. So tons of home to offer, 3 to 4 car garages.
And this is a 22-minute video. So it's basically you, and then you're talking about the neighborhood, and now you're walking through kind of the properties here. If you're watching.
And then and I'll usually do just 2. Some people do 1 house, some people do 5. I do 2 usually every time. I don't think there's a real rhyme or reason behind it. It just works for me. It's not too long, not too short. And at the beginning of the video, I give an intro like we just saw there. And then when I transition to the next house, I give information on the actual neighborhood that I'm in and the amenities and what it offers and, that kind of thing. And then at the end of the second tour of the second house, I give more city information about that, the population, what's coming that way. So pretty much giving you a vlog tour as well as a walk you through a house tour at the same time. So not just not just showing a home, I'm providing value the whole time, and I'm on camera the entire time. So people get to know, like, and trust me, because I'm sitting there talking to them for half an hour. So
there's a lot of ways I want to go through and break this down. Number one, I want to go through and break down the process. Is if you want to know, kind of everybody wants like the process part, hit a 1 in the chat. So the process from him, like, okay, what neighborhood am I going to pick? Why am I picking this? And then that, I want to go through how you come up with the content as the number 2 thing. And then 3, I want to go through how you're getting the leads. If everybody likes that flow, just type in 1, 2, 3, because that's kind of what I want to do. And then we'll get to questions right after that. So let's come up with, all right, number 1, how are you coming up with the area? And then what is the exact process? Like, and this is how I want to break it down. So the exact process is I call my videographer, we're going to hit this one. I call the builder ahead of time and they send me the stuff I want, or do you just show up? And then when you're thinking about the next thing, and in the process, how does that look?
Yeah, so mine's very niche down living in North Dallas. So everything that I film is somewhere that I'm gonna potentially go show a home and sell a house. So a lot of people branch out, and I mean, if you have a bunch of agents and stuff, I mean, that's great. I have a few, but when somebody calls, I want to be the expert in that area. So I stay within an hour and 15 minutes of the North Dallas area. So all these places are places that I know and I want to sell in. And then as far as like picking the exact location, I just try to be, I try to be all over the place as far as price points and what people are looking for. And I base that off of a lot of the phone calls and leads that I get. Anytime you film a cheap neighborhood or cheap new construction spot, that's going to, usually take off, but the lead quality kind of goes down. Whereas you go film, high-end luxury homes, you might not get a single call, but you may get one that might change, that whole month. So I try to basically do a little bit of everything. And so it fits, everybody's needs, because you're going to have people that are young, old, budgets that are small, budgets that are huge, watch your channel. So I try to get it all in one. But yeah, and then just, as far as picking a direct spot, I just go to a spot. So no really rhyme or reason behind it.
Okay. So now let's talk about with your videographer, right? You get there, number one, roughly what's the cost somebody should maybe not your videographer, but like the cost they should expect if they're going to do it the style you do it.
Yeah, I mean, so when I started out, I used my cell phone, and then I used a company called Ocean Click, which, they're based out of the Philippines, and it was like $300-400 a month. And I used my cell phone. So that's how I got started. Um, I mean, it's never going to be the best when you outsource something like that, but I know some people that kill it, and I made quite a few sales starting like that. And then once you have the money and you're actually making money from your channel, I hear from people that basically source people out from local colleges, video schools, that kind of thing, where they could be actually really cheap. I use a guy that's actually a friend of mine that was like a videographer at our church, and hired him on full time. So of course I pay him a full salary. I'm paying, to be honest with you, about $1,000 a video, right now,
And that's one video a week.
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
They're like half hour. He does the video, he does the editing, he does the thumbnail, he does everything
oh,
for me.
nice.
So basically he's in-house. I can call him anytime. So, I would never recommend that right off the bat because it's expensive. But if the ROI later on, once your channel starts taking off, it's pretty insane.
So with Ocean Click, if somebody wanted to do that route, like we've had Raj who on here, and Raj has talked about his process. If I want to use Ocean Click, like what should I tell them? Like, hey, here's Preston's channel. I'm going to shoot this very similar to Preston's channel. This is what I want. Or does it take a lot of back and forth?
I mean, yeah, basically that's what you could do. Of course, you'd have to send them the content to get it somewhat like that, right?
Okay.
So yeah, you could just take a ton of content with your phone or whatever you're using, send it off, and then just give that as an example for sure.
Okay. So Ocean
But
Click, what did you say the price
I mean,
typically?
it's been a while since I've used it, so I would say for a video a week, it was like $300.
Three, $300 per video?
$300 a month.
Month. See, all right. See,
For
that's not bad, right?
it's
Who,
really
if you
cheap.
found value in just that part, now you're gonna leave. Drop a one in the comment, because like that's the question I get from a lot of you is like, how do I do this? How do I pay for this? How do I, what are the expenses? So now your process is you call your guy, he shows up in a day. Take me through how you're gonna set up the whole shot for that day.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't spend but 2.5 hours tops, which is why I like this style of video, because a lot of people are doing talking head videos and doing 5 hours of, trying to figure out what they're going to say and do it perfectly. Whereas I'm literally just showing up in a community. I can usually Google most of the information I need. I'll look up the model home that I'll be showing, so I have the basic info on that. And then towards the end of the video, I never give price right off the bat usually, especially specific pricing, because you want people to hang around in the video to increase your watch time, which will then increase your views and calls. So you want to hook them and make them wait for the pricing. So at the end of the first tour, for whoever that builder is, I'll give the starting prices of those homes, the ending pricing, and then the pricing of that model. So very broad. I'll just be like, starts in the low 400s and goes up to the 600s for this amount of square footage. And then in this particular model right here is this, and this. So basically, as long as I have the starting price, ending price, and then that model information, I can do the video, because I'm just walking and giving details about the home, oversized room, tall ceilings, nice and bright, that kind of thing. And you guys could get a better idea from checking it out. But, you've seen videos like that before,
Yeah.
but that's basically it. The amount of preparation is because of I've been doing it longer is very, very minimal.
So, all right. So you go, you shoot, you guys talk about, so you start off by picking the property, get the pricing, tell them, give them a good hook for the beginning of it. Go through the first house. When you're done with the first house, show them the amenities. You're talking about pricing throughout the video to keep them in there. At the end, like what's your hook at the end, or what's your process in order to drive them to give you a call?
Yeah, so I will say, as far as the format goes, we always film the homes first. So if you're gonna have an intro and have a conclusion, all that stuff, do the filming of the home first because it takes, zero thought, right? Whereas an intro and a conclusion, well, I got to know what I'm going to talk about, right? What did I actually? So this way, I actually know what I already filmed. So if I saw something crazy or something funny happen, I can throw a little gesture out there to, so they can be prepared for that or whatnot. So I always film the intro, conclusion, and then the walk between the one house to the next last. So all the outside stuff is at the very end.
Good.
I basically my call to actions are. I used to be very long, and I guess a lot of people do this. They do like the whole I'm a real estate agent. I'm the best in the state, and blah blah blah. All the stuff that people don't really care, right? You care, but they don't, right?
Right.
So now I'm super minimal. I actually haven't even said my name in the videos in a long time, and I'm gonna start doing that again. Um, but basically, I used to do like the call to action, subscribe, do this and that. I don't even do that anymore. I just say, as I'm transitioning from maybe say the outside of showing the backyard to the primary suite or something, I'll be like, I can't even think right now, but I'll basically be like, if you're thinking about getting a move tomorrow or a year from now, don't be shy. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd love to help you and your family make a smooth move to Dallas. And he'll put my number at the bottom briefly while I say that, but it's very, very quick because you don't want to lose your audience with a sales pitch. But that's just enough to give them, give them the idea of, hey, I can reach out to this guy. I used to do the subscribe thing. Some people still do. Some people that are killing it still do. I don't because they're going to subscribe if they like your stuff. And my job, I don't care if I have subscribers. I want them to call me. So that's literally what I put on there. Hey, call, text, or email this number right here. We'd love to help you make a move. And sometimes I'll say, well, we've helped tons of people relocate here. So it's just very brief, and it's in a transition to walking to another bedroom, going upstairs. Just the ease of it makes it so where it's not, you're not going to lose your audience because people's attention span are so small and finicky.
Okay.
And then
So,
I guess towards the end, I guess to answer the question too, is the conclusion is, when I walk out of that last home, I talk about the actual city that I'm in, what's close to it, that type of thing. And then I always end my videos pointing to another video that they may like. So I'm always like, so if you like this video right here, and maybe this home, or if you like this house right here in Salina, Texas, but maybe it's a little too expensive for you, check out this video right here. It's a lot more affordable, very similar product right down the street. And remember to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'd love to help you and your family make a smooth move to Dallas. So then they just click on to the next video, and then boom. So that's something that I used to not do, is I wouldn't point people to the next YouTube channel or the next YouTube video. And the biggest thing with channel growth and everything, one of the biggest is to keep people on your channel. So I saw an uptick in everything once I started doing that.
what about short content? Are you putting short form video on yours, or is it just the long form videos?
I have never done shorts ever. And the reason being is because I follow a lot of people, and I've just heard mixed reviews on shorts. And what I've done has worked. And I just don't want to mess up a good thing. I got 50 or so calls just last month in January from the channel. So I don't
So,
do shorts.
That's a good point. All right. So look, you did almost what, 1 million GCI, or you did over 1 million GCI a year ago, right? From the
Yeah,
channel.
with as far as like my GCI plus what I've sent out to the team
Yeah.
or the agents that I worked with, yes. Yep.
Okay. So this YouTube thing doesn't work then, right? I mean, it doesn't pay the bills, right?
Yeah. No, it's incredible. Yeah.
Okay, so definitely worth it because we're doing over 1 million GCI just from plus with the team. Um, so now let's transition. All right. So you shot the video, you posted the video. I want to talk about how you handle the leads, but before we get there, a question I always get, and I'm sure any of you who've posted a YouTube video have gotten emails about, and that is the SEO. You have these SEO people that'll charge you an arm and a leg to help you with your SEO titles. What's your SEO process look like?
Yeah, so I use TubeBuddy. vidIQ and TubeBuddy are the two that most people use. Yeah, I still get those emails, texts, WhatsApp, all the things almost every day. So as soon as you have a channel, just FYI, you're going to get those all the time. Just ignore them. They screenshot your videos, they show you what you're doing wrong, and they tell me my numbers are terrible. And they've literally done that since I started my channel. So don't ever let them take over your channel. But I use TubeBuddy, and I don't really know how I could explain what I do on there right now, but all that stuff on there, I think it helps. You can, use your titles and I don't know. How do I explain how we work that out? I'd have to show it.
Well, so I use vidIQ more
Yeah,
than
very
TubeBuddy. I'm
similar
not a big
products.
fan of TubeBuddy personally. I just don't know how it works, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not a fan of it. Just I don't know how it works. So not that it's good or bad or indifferent. But let me see here. Perfect. I got it. So we'll do this real quick because this is a question I always get. I mean, if this is a question that you normally have, drop a one in the chat. Again, for those people on YouTube that think I'm selling a product, I'm not. I'm just asking people in the chat live because you can come to this live. I had some lady all upset that I never watch your content because you always are asking for stuff, and I'm like, I'm not asking for anything. So I always just found that comment like really confusing. Let's see. Here we go. So here's vidIQ. And so what's good about vidIQ, I mean, if you're not doing the neighborhood channel style, more talking head style, it'll give you like video ideas to come up with. So I sometimes use this, right? I don't use this very often, but keywords, like if I were to type in, like, what was the name of that video that you just did? Let's just put uh, model home tour, and how do you spell Salina? Salina. There we go.
CELINA.
Yeah. So pretty decent search results on that. But I believe through here, and I don't even know how to do it because I don't do it very word related keywords. So it'll give you all the keywords that you can put in here that are good. And if you look, these scores aren't fantastic. They're like 60s, 70s. But again, I don't think for me, I don't think necessarily the keywords are the biggest factor in what's going to get you views and clicks. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
All right, can you repeat that? I have somebody trying to get in here.
Um, no, I was saying that I don't think that the keywords and all of that are the biggest
No,
part of getting business from YouTube.
absolutely not. Yeah, so I didn't even know about vidIQ or TubeBuddy for a while. I didn't know how to even use. I actually had it downloaded, but I didn't know how to use it. And I still got business. I know some people that absolutely kill YouTube as far as selling real estate and don't use either. So I mean, it basically it helps you with ideas, I guess, as far as what you name things and how to do a thumbnail, what tags to use and things like that. I mean, if it helps you even a little bit, that's why we do it, right? So
Yeah.
but yeah, there's some people that don't believe in the tags and don't believe in, and still kill it. So It's just one little avenue to help you. And they have a lot of video training and things like that that'll, kind of lead you in the right direction.
Yeah, it's interesting on here. I'll show this if because I never really go through any of this stuff with in our talks. Let me go back and share screen. 1 second. Share screen right here. So you said that, and I didn't even realize that you could do this. So this is how much I don't use this, but there's a screen here. It says create a thumbnail. So let's go. Let's try this out live. Let's see what happens. Let's go to my channel. Move this out of the way. YouTube Studio. I have this video we just posted that didn't do anything, so I'm curious. Not that one. Get shareable link. Let's try this one. That's funny is I did a video recently about selling your home. It got no views on it. I had 2 listing appointments yesterday at $1.2 million each.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
From
talking
that
about
video?
from that video that I went on yesterday.
Wow.
So, yeah, that thumbnail idea is terrible. Phone apocalypse. All right, I don't like these. We tried it, everybody. Phone apocalypse? What the heck? Has nothing to do with the video at all. All right. Well, it didn't work, so that's why I don't use vidIQ. Okay. At least we tried. Okay. So, all right. So now let's talk about the lead process, right? So what's happening? Like you say in the video, call me, email me, send a carrier pigeon, find me in the description. What's the process like when people reach out?
Yeah, so I have the call, email, text, and I use Follow Up Boss's CRM. So it goes to my business line when they reach out directly. And then as I grew, I brought on a few agents, and they're basically attached to my CRM. So I can literally just put their name and it'll send that lead directly to them, which is nice. I also have a type form or a zip form, whatever they're called, that I put in the pinned comments. Some people do this, some people don't. And basically it's just a registration form where, you say buying, selling, and then your time frame and, what cities you're looking at, that kind of thing. And then it sends directly to my CRM. One thing I've noticed me personally is that I don't get very many of those, very few. And then the ones that I do get, a lot of times they're spam or something like that, which is super weird.
It's the phone calls and the emails that I think that I've found are better.
Yeah, for some people do really well with the forms. I have never have. Most people are going to email you, text you, or just straight up call you. So, and one thing I will say is if people do call you and they don't leave a voicemail or text you, they're usually not a very good lead. So
yeah. I always find too, so this is a problem that I have with some of our leads is they'll call and they'll want something right then, right there. Like, hey, tell me about this neighborhood. And I'm like, hey, look,
a video you did a year ago.
Yeah, right. Tell me about this. I want this information. I want that information. And I will really tell them like, hey, I thank you so much for the call. I'm so honored that you decided to call us. I'm actually in the middle of a meeting. Can we actually schedule a time to sit down and go through and answer these questions better? Well, just real quick, tell me about, I'm like, no, those are the ones that just want free information. So you do have to qualify some of these leads. I think that's really important for us to share is that I'll probably get 30 leads, right? And 10 of them are really, really good leads. The other like 20, they just want free shit.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's kind of, yeah. But I mean, I will say like now with the new buyer rep thing, that hasn't been the easiest transition for me, but you talk about much easier than most agents will have it is, people reaching out directly to you to work with you. Getting those signed is, not as difficult. Because of the new laws. So, but yeah, people will reach out to try to get info, and that's most of the time they'll text you and not give you their name. Those are the type of people that will do that. And you just ask for their name and email, and if they don't send it, then that's usually not worth your time. Or you just send it to one of your agents and they figure it out.
Yeah, we've built a couple things. So like usually when that happens, we have a auto generated like, hey, we'd love to schedule a time to meet with you. We'll put in the Calendly link, and we're actually going to change this to just a Calendly link to ask these questions ahead of time. But it's like basically 8 questions that we ask. Like, hey, thank you so much. Obviously, you're going to thank them, appreciate them. And then number one, hey, what's your time frame for being in your new home? Do you have a home that you need to sell in order to purchase? The next is like it's like 8 questions like that. If you were to buy a new home, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, whatever would you need, right? What is the ideal neighborhood? So they have a chance to like type that in. The one question that I always ask, are you currently talking to or working with another realtor? Typically, if somebody says, yes, we're interviewing, I say, then you're not the client for me. So this is how I weed out a lot of people. I'll either then refer them to somebody else. But the reality is if they're calling me, but interviewing other people, they haven't found the value and they just want the free stuff, right? Because you've had this happen. People are like, hey, you get to that process. I mean, you're in Dallas, I'm in Austin, we have this. And then they go, hey, by the way, I want you to discount me, 2% of the commission. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah, we just want you to work for $1,000. There's an uncle that'll do that. And you're like, no. So that's why I asked that question ahead of time.
No, that's really good. That's because, yeah, I need to learn how to handle that as well. So that's probably what I should do because it's
Yeah. Are you
crazy.
talking to or working with another realtor? And if they
Yeah.
answer yes, then hey, I see that then it's like then it's a phone call. Hey, I wanted to call real quick, and I'm getting ready to schedule the appointment with you. I'm in between meetings, but I thought it'd be just great to ask this question now. So you make it like you're in a hurry, like they need to like hurry up and answer the question, right? And then you just say, "Hey, I noticed on the questionnaire it says you're interviewing, talking to other agents. Can you explain the process of that for me real quick?" And if they're like, well, and then you'd be like, hey, look, I really appreciate the time, but and I'll flat out tell them if you've watched the channel for this long and you don't find the value in us and you're interviewing other agents, and I really don't think we should schedule a time because it sounds like I haven't given you the value you need. And so I'll shut them down right then. And I know a lot of people like, oh my God, you're giving up leads, but you did a
No,
million GCI, but you got to work with
that's
people that want to
awesome.
work with you, right?
And that's an amazing feeling too. Um, because yeah, I mean, a lot of people struggle the last however long. I mean, we're not in the easiest market, so
Yeah.
it's a great feeling for sure.
Let's get to questions, Q&As about the process, what Preston's doing. I mean, I've known Preston for a little over a year. We met in Dallas a year ago. I put together just a little YouTube day, and I hadn't really known him. And then I looked into his channel. I was like, holy crap, this guy's crushing it. So that's why I wanted to get him on here. And we'll talk about maybe a little bit later about a transition in his business that just happened. So Jeff says, do you have a phone number and email address for your YouTube? How do you track the YouTube leads? I'm curious your question. I'll answer how I do it. I have a call rail phone number, and then the email is still my email, but they'll like say, hey, I found you on YouTube. The call rail number, it literally pretty much goes to a voicemail. It says, hey, thank you so much. So it's not blowing up my phone because I'd be driving and somebody would call me and then I couldn't really handle objections while I'm driving and not trying to kill myself in a car accident. So I use call rail.
Interesting. So yeah, I need to figure that out. Mine's connected to Follow Up Boss CRM.
Okay.
And yeah, so everything on Follow Boss, if you don't know what that is, just a really, really nice CRM, and everything is tracked. So it'll tell me, it says YouTube Dallas, is how everything. So I can look and see how many leads I got that month, where they came from. You can label everything. But yeah, I have my regular email or my business email, Preston at ilovenorthdallas.com, and then just my business line on there. So it just goes directly to my Follow Boss, and that Follow Boss tracks everything for me. But I need to kind of look into what you're talking about, because most of the time it sounds terrible. And they used to say speed to lead. You always want to answer every call, because when I started out, I was a Zillow agent. One of my team leaders paid millions of bucks for Zillow, and that's how I got my start. And so I'd always just answer as fast as possible, whereas I do the exact opposite as a YouTube agent, because you'll be driving and you may be on the phone for 45 minutes talking to somebody about a video that he wants to know that you did 6 months ago. And sometimes you don't have that kind of time, you know what I mean? So I literally do not answer my phone if I don't have it in my phone. It's probably not the best thing ever, but they usually, if it's a serious lead, they'll leave a voicemail or shoot you a text.
Cool. I like that. Yeah. We don't respond as fast as we used to. I'm trying to get better at responding quicker. But that's the thing too, is those people will kind of wait a day. If you're like, they'll wait a day for you
Right.
on YouTube. They won't necessarily always run off to go find somebody else. That's what I found, but I could be wrong. And what are the questions we got here? Becky, what do you got? Edie. So Edie's got a channel that she's doing in just one little market area of Austin, and she's doing some more like interesting property tour stuff like that. Edie, I'm curious what questions you have, and Becky, as well, since I can see your faces, I'm picking on you.
Should I ask a question?
Yes, please. What questions do you have?
Well, I guess my biggest struggle, and you said you just do it off the cuff when you get out there, but I get out there and then I get like, I do all my stuff and then I get back to edit it and I'm like, oh, dang it, I should have said this, I should have said that, I wished I would have thought of this, and then I am tempted to go back and refilm it, but I know that's a bad strategy. But do you kind of draw out what you're going to say at all?
I don't. But I will say, I know that the thoughts that you're having right there, because it happens to me all the time. So, a builder the other day was like, "Hey, we're taking this house $192,000 off," and wow, that's something I should have advertised in the video, right? Well, I completely forgot. So, there's probably dozens of videos on my channel where I didn't do a single call to action, didn't tell them to contact me. I just will literally be done with the video and I'll look at Kyle, my video guy, and I'll be like, dude, I never did a call to action. He's like, dang it. And we'll just, it is what it is. I forget stuff all the time. It happens. But the thing is you can't worry about the little things. You just keep going. Because
you want to hack? You guys want to hack on how to fix that?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the hack. Here's the hack. So, all right, when you're obviously, Preston, you're in front of the camera the whole time. Myself, when I shoot my videos, I'm in front of the camera the whole time too. Edie, I saw yours, you're in front of the camera the whole time. While you're there, get a bunch of B-roll of just different things of the house. Get a B-roll of just the builder sign and just like do like, just like slow pan, like give it like a minute. Find like some B-roll of just the house you can do. That way, when you get back and you realize you didn't say something, you can throw that clip in there and just go, hey, by the way, one thing I forgot, and do a voiceover. One thing I forgot.
Oh yeah.
One thing I forgot to tell you while I was there was blah, 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 blah. Or you don't even tell them one thing.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I should probably mention right here and just show the builder sign. The builder is actually offering $190,000 off on one of these properties. If you do want more information about how we can get good deals like that, again, I've told you my information already in the video, but here's my information. We can go through some of the sales prices. So just get really good B-roll, and then you can go back and just voice over that. Like put that piece in there and voice over that piece.
This is kind of a really technical, but do you voice over on your phone?
Yeah, you can voice over your phone. I usually use my little Rode Goes. And so it depends on the editing software you're using too, right? If you're doing the editing, like I use Final Cut Pro. On Final Cut Pro, you can actually, like I'll use this mic and I'll do voiceovers off Final Cut Pro. So there is a way to do it directly on the software as you're editing the software.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, B-roll can fix a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And I'm still with the whole call to action thing, I'm still playing with that. And I've seen some really cool ideas. Somebody, I don't know if it was maybe you, Jeremy, I don't know. Somebody was talking about how they're getting a lot of great reach outs from a QR code.
Yes.
If I look
that
at
was we had a call with an agent yesterday. Yeah. I'm going to start doing that.
I need to look into that, because when I look back, I haven't looked at my analytics in a while, but it's like 75% of people that watch my channel watch it on TV, which is just crazy, because people sit, that's what they do. And they sit there and watch your channel. And what do people do when they see a QR code on TV immediately? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think it's great thing.
So we had that call with that agent the other day or yesterday or 2 days ago. I literally just went on a listing appointment yesterday. And I walk in, and the guy's like, "Oh, I feel like I know you're a celebrity." He was all excited to meet me. And then he turns to his TV and he goes, "This is where I sit and watch you all the time."
Yeah.
And I thought,
That's a little
oh
weird.
my God, that guy who told us about doing the QR codes was so right. I've been missing the ball on QR codes the
I
entire
think
time.
Tom's on here.
Tom's on here?
Yeah, Tom.
Oh yeah, Tom's got that
He's
COVID mic
stuck
on or
in
that.
here about
Yeah, it was
What's up,
Tom.
guys?
that was your idea.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, we have different tracking codes for each video, so hopefully, once they're running for a little bit longer, we're gonna see which ones are actually producing traffic.
No, that's cool, man. Definitely need to look into that.
So this is actually a good point, Tom. Thanks for popping on and sharing that. Like, this is why I think what we were doing with Agent Tactics, what we're doing at Real is so important, is because like it's little things like this. Like, I feel like the community you're in is going to help you, right? And so when you come to, masterminds like this or other masterminds that are held like in Real Academy, I'm not trying to sell Real here. I'm just telling you, like, I think it's really important to be in a community that's helping, whether that's the Tom Ferry community, what's your brokerage, wherever it's at. Like, Tom and I and you were on a call the other day, and Tom talked about the QR code. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. Right. And had I not been on a call with Tom talking to him about that, I wouldn't even thought about it. So I do think it's really important that you're in a good YouTube community, whether it's here, there's the Facebook groups as well. But I think there's so many good tips and tricks that can be had just by those things. Becky, I see you on there. It's your turn. You're up, girl.
Okay, awesome.
By the way, I did a little video the other day with my son. I was trying to get Ryan Trahan to like share my video, and then I ended up inadvertently getting Becky like addicted to Ryan Trahan's candy. So my bad with that.
Oh my God, it's like legit so good though. And I consider myself a candy aficionado. So go to Target, try all the Joyride candies. They are so good. And it's like not artificial sugar, but it's lower sugar. Anyways, I digress. My question for you, Preston, or anybody really is, so I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I live in Charlotte proper. These homes were, built in various neighborhoods from, like the 1900s to, even like 1980s. A lot of them have been knocked down, rebuilt, all of that, because as we know, location is everything. And people who want to be near everything in the various parts of the city is important. That's where I live. And so my question is, I don't tend to focus a lot on new construction and going out into the suburbs because one, I don't live there. It's not convenient for me. I could do it and I've thought about doing it, but I guess my question really is have you done anything for like resale homes? That's really what I'm trying to do on my channel right now, is really focusing on all of those neighborhoods. And stay tuned next week, because I have a guy who found me from my Instagram videos or YouTube, and then he reached out to me on Instagram. He lives in South Florida. His son is coming here to go to college in the fall. He wants to buy a house so that their family can also spend a bunch of time here. He's flying in on Wednesday. We're going to go look at a bunch of homes. And he's like, you seem like you really know a lot about the neighborhood. The neighborhood that he really wants, unfortunately, is out of his budget. But that's kind of the thing. And so people don't quite understand, okay, if you want to live in the places where I really focus on, like realistically, you're looking at $700,000 plus, and it's maybe going to be like a 3-bedroom or something. And so that's kind of like, those are my areas where I love them. I live there, and that's what I want to focus on. I guess really just, have you done this? Have you thought about it? Any success? Any tips?
Yeah, so I would say that's literally how I started my whole channel. Is doing exactly what you just talked about. Is I didn't know new construction because I didn't know how. I didn't want to walk through and do that whole thing. So I used to do neighborhood or city vlogs. So neighborhood specific, and I would walk down the street in a neighborhood, talk about the amenities, talk about where it's close to, shopping, dining, all the things people want to know. The school system is this far away. you know, with some B-roll and that kind of thing. And then I would stand in front of a house that might be for sale. And I would be like, so, and this is kind of what you can get for about $500,000 here in Plano, Texas. And I would be right in front of the house, and and then we would actually, I don't know if people say you can't do this or you can, but I did. And I would show listing photos from that house from Zillow, because it's public information, and just very briefly show a few photos and talk about the house and the styling of it and whatnot. And that's what you could expect in this neighborhood built in the 80s and 90s. And then I'd, you know, walk down the street and I'd either find another one, or I'd go one neighborhood over, all in one city, and go to like 2 to 3. I would usually go to like 3 different neighborhoods within one city, and basically have a city vlog, but it would, you know, have some neighborhoods within it. So it created a ton of value. It would be, you know, 15, 20 minutes long. But that's how I started my channel, is I would do videos like that and just walk and talk about the communities. Cause I realized that a lot of people don't have new construction. So yeah, that's kind of how I went. You know, I transitioned to new construction because of interest rates and everything like that. And there's just so much of it out here. You know, interest rates were the biggest reason for people not purchasing, because they couldn't afford a home. Whereas the builder down the street's given a 2.99% interest rate. So I'm like, okay, like if it just made sense for me, and it worked out really well going that route, because there's just so much of it. And, you know, but that's the same thing here. Is I live in the suburbs. I'm just the opposite of you. I live in the suburbs. I actually live out in the middle of nowhere on some land, but I keep moving further away from the city. But I got another story. But we're basically just doing two opposite things. When I have people that want to buy in downtown Dallas or those areas, I just send them to somebody, or send them to one of my agents, because I don't know anything about it. But you can definitely run a channel just like that. And that's how I got my start. That's how I started homes, was doing those videos like that.
I like
Awesome.
that. One thing that you could do too, there's an agent in Dallas who has reached out to me, and we've talked quite a bit, and only thing around him is like historic homes. And so I recommended, hey, just do a whole historic home channel. Like, go to all the agents that have these historic homes, just do property tours, talk about what it's down the street from, basically what Preston just said. And then you'll be seen as a historic guy. Then what'll happen is all of the other agents that when they have listings, will call you to come do a walkthrough tour on their video, because they want it sold. So then you'll be like, it'll help you with agents in your area. When you have buyers that are coming, it'll help with that. I can tell you how many times that we've been on the other end of a deal, and I'm on a deal with a $5 million buyer right now. And, I just negotiated the easiest stuff possible because I was the YouTube guy. They're like, yeah, fine, whatever you want. And I'm like, what the, are you serious? Like, you guys just gave us that? Okay. I'm not going to question it. I'll show you this. This is an option as well. So I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to get back to some more of the questions. This is Roland Osage, and he has a TikTok that just does short videos, and he does more of those like historic homes in the Bay Area. He's at 150,000 followers on TikTok, but his videos are very simple. Like, this is his video.
I swear I'm not just trying to.
I don't know if you can hear the audio, but it's just
too good to pass
him like walking and talking about the house and pointing out different things in the house. He gets a ton of business just from doing this on TikTok. So you could do a YouTube style like this, which is very similar to what's his face, Raj Sehu, and marry the things together. So I think this is a really, really solid way to go too. And that's on TikTok, but you could do that on YouTube. So
yeah, and you can throw in your office videos, talking head videos. I did that. I intermingled everything, so I didn't have to do that same video all the time. And it just makes it something that, because if you're going to do YouTube, you got to do something that's going to work for you, and that you can say, hey, I can see myself doing this long term. Because if not, it's just, you know, it's going to be like most people. They get on here and they do it for 3, 4, 5 months and they quit. So it takes time, but it is so worth it if you stick to it.
what else we got in chat here? We got about 8 minutes left. So
I'll take a question. I'm in, it's Jeff. Can you hear me?
yeah, we see you, bud.
All
Hear
right.
ya.
I'm in New York City and the apartments are, not that big here. And so in trying to elongate the video, like I just shot, an apartment the other day and it was like struggling to get it over a minute. It's just really small. Like, what do you do to extend, any ideas to, make them longer so that they're the longer form videos?
I mean, me personally, I don't care. I mean, if I was doing a video on the office I'm in right now, I could make it longer than a minute. Just because, I'm gonna do a call to action. I'm gonna give you value. Where is this apartment? What's around this apartment? What makes this place? What makes this apartment building great? What does this provide, or what does this apartment look like compared to other units in the building? Cost wise, is this more expensive or less expensive than some of the other areas? So just got to think as the buyer yourself. Like if you were in a different state and you were going to buy that apartment, like, and you knew nothing about that place whatsoever, think of it in that perspective, and you can come up with so many ideas as to continuing to make that video longer, if that makes sense. And you can get as detailed too. On top of all those other things, you can talk about, what kind of countertops are they? What kind of sink? What kind of, is there natural light? How tall are the ceilings? Like compare it to contrast to other places. So just think about it as somebody who knows absolutely nothing about that area, because most people that call from the channel know absolutely nothing about, Dallas. When I get calls quite often where they're like, man, we've never been there, but I think we're going to move there. So it may not be appealing to you, but it could actually help somebody out.
I like that. I would literally have a camera in the elevator pushing the elevator button, right? If you're in New York, and literally like just talking, doing a voiceover that entire time as you're going from the first to the 50th floor or whatever it is. This is how long it's going to take you to get from the first to the 50th floor where this is at. So, hey, since we're here, let me flip the camera around. Here's a bunch of different things that are in this building for amenities. Here's where, right when I walked up, I got this big sense of like how amazing the building was. And then maybe just show a shot of the front of the building. So I would literally show the time it would take to get from the ground floor through the amenities, everything up to that top floor. And that'll give you another 2 minutes, and it's just 2 minutes of opportunity to talk about something else. So
yeah,
you can get as creative as you want with it.
Good.
Does that help, Jeff?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Showing the amenities around it too, like what's the bagel shop around it, the coffee shop around it, how long it takes you to walk from there to the coffee shop. If I'm somebody going to New York, I want to know all of those things, right? So I would definitely lean into that. Edie asked, how many videos a week do you need to make to get traction? I'm trying to get one per week. Is that enough? What do you think?
I started out with 2 a week when I started. And then I went to 3 a week and started just going nuts just because I was like, I have to make this thing work. But I've only done 1 a week for quite some time now. So I would, and my channel's doing better than ever. I do think, I mean, honestly, I have no idea, but I know that you can run a successful channel with 1 a week because that's what I'm doing. I've been told that if you do 2 to 3 a week, you're a small channel, you haven't grown at all. That can get your name out there a little bit, and then you can tone it down. So that's what I did personally. I don't know if that's a thing that you have to do, but I do 1 a week and it's doing really well. And
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. And I would say too, is like a lot of people are obsessed with views and subs and all that stuff. It doesn't matter at all. I will say that for the most part, subs and all that. My channel's still pretty small. I think I was like 6,500 subs or whatever. And I think I did, the year prior, I only had like 1,200 subs, and I did around 400, 500,000 in GCI with 1,200 subs. So yeah, just keep that in mind, because I know a lot of people gauge their success off of that kind of stuff.
Yep, I agree. Do you need permission to video someone's home?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a resale home, 100%. But if it's a new construction, not usually, no.
I'll usually let the builder know I'm there, but other than that,
Yeah.
no, I don't ever ask for permission on a new construction.
Yeah, I don't get. I'll get pushback every once in a while, even on new construction, which is hilarious. It's usually the old timers that
Yeah.
that won't
Oh
change.
yeah.
They're just like, we don't need you here. Or, I don't know. Most of them are great. But every once in a while you get some pushback, and I'll just be like, okay, I'm gonna film it anyways.
I've had that happen. You know, one thing I do, you know, like I'll find off-market luxury properties, and if they have a website, I'll go to their website and screen record and do a voiceover talking about their property. But I always make sure in the comment section or the description, I give them credit for that and where that website was found. The reality is, some people are like, oh, but that agent's going to get the leads. I mean, they could. But the reality is they found your channel, you're talking to them. So most likely they're going to reach out to you. And then that agent won't be as pissed that you used their video in your video. I've only had one time where somebody got upset. And it was because they had like 107 offers on a property, and it was like, it made the news. And she was such a pain in the butt about it because I used the MLS photos. I didn't even put the address. I blurred out the address. And she was so upset about that. I ended up just blurring all of the photos out. And I was like, I gave her credit the first time. I was like, I'm not even gonna give you credit now. You're done. You're out. So I took her info out. What else do we got? In the description, 80 asks, where do you give credit? In the description of the video.
How about if it's a new location in a new neighborhood, like, you know, since you're doing new development and it's 123 Banana Street and it's not yet in Google, do you just do the neighborhood, or do you create a new address for that developer? Or like, does it
Well,
not
typically
matter?
they'll have an address for it. If it doesn't, like, I won't put the address. I would just put in there like, for geo information, give me a call. Yeah. That way, give them a way to call you. So, Jennifer says, let's talk about farming a resale neighborhood or neighborhood. What's the question? Are you talking about just doing content for it?
Yeah, I spelled neighborhood wrong the first time. I put neighborhood, so that's why.
I love a neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, it's where they have horses and bros.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to start farming a new neighborhood, what would you suggest?
Well, I'm curious to hear what Preston says. I would just do a bunch of content about all the things, right? I would ask different agents to do property tours and shoot a property tour there. I would do a full, like, here's what you get. I would interview people, right? I would interview the neighbors, like reach out, who's lives in the neighborhood that wouldn't mind talking about the neighborhood. I would make 4 or 5 different videos, just that different style. I mean, people love to hear what other people say about it.
Yeah.
Be careful you don't put kids on camera, because like if you're going to the park, you know, but that's what I would do. The other thing I would do, it depends if you have a paid channel or not. So Press and I both go off of organic, so we don't pay for ads. I would not put an ads on any of your channels that are organic channels. But if you had a channel that was ads, I would create real short videos, 30 seconds, that would be something like this. So I'm in Dripping Springs, right? So I would say, Dripping Springs neighbors, did Jeremy Ninth and Night Group, your favorite Dripping Springs realtor, right? Hot Dripping Springs news, Jeremy Knight, your favorite Dripping Springs realtor. And you got to get that under 5 seconds, because they can't skip the first 5 seconds, right? And so if you're going to do like pinpoint a mile radius, and then like, let's say you said, hey, these 3 neighborhoods saw a big jump in prices. There was 5 homes that sold, whatever, and you keep it a 30-second ad.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that first 5 seconds, you have your name and saying that you're the person. It's the same thing as like just paying for really good advertising. That's all they're going to hear every time they open up anything about Dripping Springs in your area. But you got to do a very small area, right? I would do like a mile radius, less than 2 mile radius if you're going to do that.
And where would you roll on the QR codes with something like that?
I wouldn't. Maybe at the bottom, but you're running the ad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking no ad.
If you're doing no ad, then I would put it just in the bottom corner. Just have a QR code that sits in the bottom corner. Like on YouTube, there's a little thing that you can do where it puts like a subscribe button. You can change that just to a QR code. That's what I'm going to do. Thanks to Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where would you drive them though, if you're starting a farm? Like, would you think about it differently?
No, I would just drive into my phone number. Like, give me a call.
Okay. Love it.
What do you think, Preston?
Oh, that's your wheelhouse. You answered that well.
Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't understand it. I guess the question of as far as farming a neighborhood until you answered it. So,
Yeah. So basically, if
Sorry.
here's a neighborhood that you just want to get business out of, like, what would I
Yeah.
do?
But are you talking about as far as doing video or just talking about farming a neighborhood?
Content for the purpose of creating farming in the neighborhood. Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing I've done to that aspect is really working the areas hard and doing a lot of content in the communities that you want to sell homes in.
Yeah.
So like my channel is never going to be massive because I'm very a niche market. I'm in the small suburbs like Van Alstyne. I do a ton out here. There's 5,000 people here, right? So yeah, Dallas is right down, an hour away, but there's 5,000 people here. But if you look up this particular small town, I'm going to pop up, and you sell enough new construction or resale homes in a town of 5,000 people, or so that's growing, you're going to get a lot of, listings here in the future. Right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I guess that's a long-term way of farming an area. So yeah, not to a specific neighborhood, but that's kind of what I did on my channel, just because I knew I could have gotten a whole lot more subs if I went further to, closer to Dallas with these places with 300,000-400,000 people, but I didn't want to sell homes there. I wanted to be in these direct areas.
Well, and then you said something really big there that I don't want to gloss over, which is you said I could have gotten more subs, but you don't care about subs. You care about selling houses.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't a priority.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why I'm thinking I want to go to a specific neighborhood and just become the realtor. Like anytime you think about that area, then Jennifer Goodman, you got to call Jennifer Goodman.
Yeah.
That's what Edie's kind of doing in 78704, right? That's all of our
Go
content.
Edie. Go Edie.
Yeah. Mindy, I see you, Mindy. We
Mindy
got time for
K.
one last question. And Mindy reached out to me the other day and I was like on the road. And so I wasn't able to help her. Let's see if we can help her now.
Let's help Mindy.
How are y'all? My thing connected? I don't even know.
Yeah, you're good. We can hear you.
Okay. So I have this idea. So I did a long look at my business and I was like all over the place last year. And I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. I really want to stay in really almost within 45 minutes of my house, sort of. And, in the area that I'm looking at, there's not a ton. I mean, out in Dripping, we have a lot of new construction, but in the other areas, like Circle C and Lake Travis and all of that, they have some, but we don't have what Dallas has, especially in the areas I want to sell. But I had this idea, and I didn't know if it was crazy, and I've talked to a few people about it, but to get people, because I know it's hard to get agents to let you video their houses. Like, I don't know why. You want to sell the house, why wouldn't you? But giving them the opportunity to be in the video and be more of a interviews type style and make it more collaborative. So like doing a neighborhood video saying it's in, in Sweetwater and Lake Travis, like it's a neighborhood video, but part of that video is also going to see what kind of houses are for sale there that are resale, not the new construction ones, but the resale. Like this is what you can actually get, not the upgraded house over here. And this is for sale today if you're looking for today. And they go through and kind of show you like not a whole property tour of the house, but like maybe 3 or 4 things that are great about that house. And then maybe another agent who does another one and make it more of a conversational type style video. And I haven't seen anything like it. So I'm still just trying to like paste it all together. And I know one of the struggles would be is getting the agents on the same time frame as you, because I know enough agents that would do it to help me get started that I know well. but getting everybody on a timeline so that you can be consistent of putting those videos out consistently, because you know it's like herding cats with agents. So that was one of the issues I thought about. And so like, I don't know, I'm really just open to ideas. So I'm in this
Yeah.
gathering stage.
What do you think, Preston?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would say from my experience, people want to see the house.
Mhm.
Not saying that you can't have those conversations with those agents, but one thing that's really helped my channel take off is getting in front of the home and whatever I'm supposed to be talking about and giving them
Mhm.
that right off the bat. I mean, I'll get people to get mad at me because I don't open every linen closet. I mean, it's crazy. So I think I mean, longer is better. So, I mean, if you did something like that, still show the entire house.
Uh-huh.
You know, you got to remember that attention spans of people are very, very short. So you have to figure out a way to do it where people are going to stick around for that, you know, for the talking points and all that stuff. So maybe break it up as you're showing the home, that kind of thing, where it's not just like all one conversation with another agent and all home tour. That's something that I started doing later on that really helped my channel is like I used to do all walk and talk through the house and then have one big long B-roll. And I was losing people like crazy. Whereas now I walk and talk, B-roll, everything's happening all at once. If that,
It's intertwined
yeah,
with.
so it's just it's all cohesive together. So yeah, that's my input, I guess.
My 2 cents is this: getting another realtor who will actually want to be on camera is challenging, and getting another realtor who can be decent on camera
That was
is
my
also
other.
challenging.
I was like, I
So
feel like sometimes you might be carrying it yourself.
yeah, I was walking through a bunch of luxury properties one time, and I was like, hey, if you want to be on the we walked through 5 in one day, and we were going to do like a whole thing on about like looking at luxury properties, how the off market works. And it was the open house day for the ALN. So I got to the first one, dude was like, nope. I got the second one. I tried to put her on camera to talk about her property. Number one, she couldn't even talk about her own listing. She was dressed like a bum, and she was just terrible. In fact, my editor was like, dude, we need to just cut this entire
Put
house.
her out.
So we cut the whole house out. So I would say focus on you, focus on the home.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I guess my thought process was like trying to give them something to let me videotape their house.
Tell them that, hey, I'm going to give you all the credit I'm going to give your phone
Yeah,
number.
as
And
long as
and
long as you say, hey, I'm going to give you your name and everything that you're the listing agent, then
yeah,
I haven't gotten, I mean, I've gotten a few no's when I was a smaller channel. And I'm just like, whatever, there's a million others, right? So if you get a no, it's one step closer to a yes. So
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't.
Now,
I would-
would you put the house, would you do a neighborhood tour, like specific of the neighborhood with the houses, or make those two different things? Like, this is all about the
Put 'em in
neighborhood,
there.
the amenities, the thing, and then houses separately.
mine's,
I put it all in there.
yeah, mine's all the above.
Yeah,
So it's you do the neighborhood and a house.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Drone shots, or throw a camera over the pillar of your car and drive through the neighborhood. People want to see what the neighborhood looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my other thing. Drone.
Go
'cause
ahead.
it fascinates me.
I got a question for you guys.
So
How do you think about your intro to the video? Because like, I'm sure it's the same for you guys, but like most people decide within the first 30 seconds if they're going to watch the video or not. You guys have any tips or, I don't know, thoughts on how you come up with your intro?
I'll say, that's always been a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody because I guess, the first 30 seconds, that's what a view is on YouTube for those of you who don't know. And one thing that I transitioned to, if you watch any of my latest stuff, is like, there is a lot going on in that first 30 seconds. I'm talking, I'm moving my hands. There's words going across. We've got a bunch of different shots going because I am trying to do everything I can to keep this person's attention. So there's a whole lot of movement in the first part. I'm actually in the process. I mean, I've done the same thing for a while now where you've probably seen them where, so you're thinking about the very traditional. So you're thinking about making a move to blah, blah, blah. And I basically come at it with tons of excitement, energy, because if you're not excited about it, that person watching is not going to be excited about it. But once I started doing that and getting in front of the house as fast as possible, and giving them everything they wanted, lots of movement and changes, my views started steadily increasing over time. Now I'm going to try to transition into something similar to what I'm doing, but try to start the video out a little bit different with like, talking about something unique about the property right off the bat instead of like, oh, so you're thinking about making, the traditional way. So I'm trying to, I've been doing the same thing for about a year. So trying to move into something a little bit different, but as long as you have enough movements, changes going on, you just got to remember that whatever your video, whatever you're shooting, you got to give them as much as possible without giving them everything right in that first 30 seconds.
Yeah. I see the big mistake I see people make is they start talking about themselves in that first 30 seconds, whether it's, talking about your name, talking about, your experience. So I would say, like a prime example would be like, if you're talking about a neighborhood property tour, right? That's what we're talking about. I'd say 95% of the people that reach out to me about this neighborhood, they want these 3 things answered. Jeremy Nathan Nyquist, your favorite Austin realtor, say we're going to go through these 3 things. In fact, these 3 things are this, and this, and we're going to answer those questions in this video. First up, you're literally like into the thing, right? Preston doesn't even say his name, but I think what happens is most agents go, oh, I'm such and such. I've been selling in the market here for 20 years, have all this experience. People don't care. They're already clicking off once you start doing that.
Yeah. And I see it all the time too, where they're asking for subs and subscribe, if blah, blah, blah. And it's right at the beginning of the video and you haven't provided any value yet. Right. So why would you give a call to action for them to subscribe to your channel if they don't even know if they like your channel yet? Right.
Yep.
So, and then I don't know who's doing it. A lot of people still do it, but like I used to have this, I don't know how long it was, 15, 20-second intro video that people would have that was all super fancy. And, it's like an intro to a TV show. And I got rid of that. And my videos started doing better after I got rid of that.
100%. I appreciate y'all. We will see you next week again. I'll try to get the video out tomorrow. And if you want the playback books, just shoot me a little message. If you're not getting them or know how to get them, the playback books are amazing because all of this info is kind of in there. So, all right, we'll see you later. Thank you, Preston.
Thanks, man.